This is Comic Burrito, a podcast. I'm Todd,
I'm Cole.
I'm Nick.
and we're talking AWA
Or
Upshot.
AWA.
UPSHOT. Right there.
It's not AWA.
AWA UPSHOT.
AWA UPSHOT.
I do not like this.
That's a bad review.
I like it a lot.
I just meant your guys' pronunciations.
Oh, that's
I'll
fair. That's fair.
That's good. That'll be edited out, I'm sure. I never rewatch these later. I just assume it's all fixed.
Oh, it's never edited.
No. Oh, it's not? Oh, no. Oh, no.
So yeah, what's first of all, this is a new publisher and like writing artist alliance that is killing it right now. They are some of all of our favorites are sitting in here. What they're publishing, I think it would be my publisher if I had to go off of just one right now, and that's all I got. I think it might be AWA. It would be them. They'd be on the very, very, very short list, and they could win.
And I mean, I was just re-looking at it, and I know that their first books came out in March, like right before quarantine. So, like, the fact that they were able to at least get a lot of the traction throughout quarantine, because like that was it. They released, I think, 2 issues, and then quarantine hit.
Yeah, that's a rough time.
Just kind of like
to start.
Didn't they do like some digital stuff early because the books weren't coming out?
I think so. I mean, I definitely was not a part of that, but I know I think you can webtoons all the first issues of all of these books. So
okay, maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, they did put a good emphasis on digital,
Yeah.
And then obviously there's a bunch of prints as well.
But they have some really good books. I don't know if we want to just like jump through a few.
Let's do it. I mean, they're all bangers.
It's hard to, there's a few that I haven't gotten to yet. I've been really busy. But like Year Zero was one of the first books that I got from them.
Yeah, Year Zero. Benjamin Percy is the writer. Ramon Rosales is the artist. Lee Luffridge, which you will hear Lee Luffridge a lot while we talk about this. He's the colorist. And then Sal Cipriano is the letterer.
Yeah, I mean, this book, I mean, for the like high level conversation of it, it is 5 different people dealing with a new zombie apocalypse. And they're all dealing with it in very different ways. I think currently as we're recording this, it's got 3 issues out. And with the first issue was just kind of like, I wanted a lot more. Then that second issue came out and I'm like, I'm getting what I want. And then the third one, you're just like, we're keep going. Is it on 3 or is it only on 2? It might only be on 2.
No, it's
on 3.
Oh no,
3 was on 3.
3 was the cover.
That was the cover of the picnic that I.
One of the greatest covers of the year.
Yeah,
it's so good.
I picked up the entire series just because I wanted that cover and not just that cover.
I will.
If there's one thing you need to know about this series, it's just #bunker guy. He swiped.
Fix it in post. There it is. Yeah, just this loving little Americana white family having a nice picnic while a zombie just like stumbles and burns in the background. It's just amazing.
It's so good.
The interior art is not the same style as the covers.
Which you would have seen from my quick swipe.
Yes. That's something that I don't want to say it's unfortunate, but the covers are so good. But it would probably take just years to
pull that off. Oh yeah,
they're like photorealistic covers.
Yeah.
They're very cool.
And there are stories in it that I am more interested in than others, but they are all very interesting because they're all dealing with the same apocalypse, but they are all in way different situations and then handling those situations very differently.
And geographically in different situations.
It's very, if people are familiar with World War Z, the book, it's very much like that, where you're getting snippets of different groups and different people and different cultures all dealing with the same apocalypse. It kind of loses it's different after that, but it shares that similarity.
Yeah, I think this was the first book I personally got from AWA. I just saw Ben Percy and I was like, people are talking about this. I know this guy is a good author, so let's just give it a try.
Yeah, it was the second book I picked up because the first book I picked up was from Nat's recommendation of Hotel. So
Same.
Hotel L was the very first AWA Upshot book that I got, and
That
holy crap! I didn't want to
Yeah.
bring it up. It was just I wanted to kind of save it for last, but I
it's
wasn't
I
able
mean
to. That was
it's
as far as I was able to hold off.
it is really incredible. It's written by John Lees. Dalibor Talajic is the artist. Lee Luffridge is the colorist, and Sal Cipriano, another name you'll hear a lot because he also does a lot of lettering. What a team, because that whole book is spectacular.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, this book is essentially you're at a hotel. There are 4 different rooms in this hotel. Each one is a story. They all come in together. And I think that's where this book excels so much, is that every single issue, like when issue 2 came out and I read it, I was like, oh, that throwback to issue 1. But then when you're in issue 3 and you're like, that throwback to issue 1, that throwback to issue 2, like, I mean, this is...
they're all good stories on their own.
Yeah, right. And
So
it has that like Ice Cream Man effect where you could just read one single issue, but reading all of these together really puts it together.
Yeah, I would say if you're at your comic book shop and they have Hotel number 3 of 5, I think.
4.
Is it 4? All right. So yeah, if they have 3 of 4, just go ahead and buy it because it's really good. Especially 3 is really good. So
yeah, it says 1 of 4 on the cover.
If they have any random issue, I mean, I assume they're going to do a trade too. But if you just saw a random issue, and I would just buy it because it's really good that way.
Yeah, I would say easily this is on my radar for top mini of the year.
Yep.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
Totally.
I mean, yeah,
Same.
like issue 2 might even be one of my favorite single issues of the year too. I just love that issue for some weird reason. I remember like I read it and then I flipped it and read it over again.
3 with how the 3 interconnects with the other 2. I'm assuming 4 will connect with 1, 2, and 3. I have a feeling 4 is going to be my favorite if they take everything full circle. That's going to be
I've read
a
every
trip.
single issue of this multiple times. And that's very rare for me.
I mean, something that's recent, I don't usually do that either, but I've been reading them. I read 1 before 2, I read 1 and 2 before 3, and then after 3, I've read it now once all the way through again. Yeah. Oh my goodness. It's incredible. Thank you, Nat.
Yeah, thank you, Nat.
Hopefully you watch this episode.
Yes. I don't know if they're all kind of adult. I think Cole, you said they're all but 1 is rated mature, and a lot of them kind of at least teeter on the horror genre.
Yeah.
I know Red Border is one that I have not read, but it's one that I'm hearing a lot about.
That's Jason Starr, writer. Ivan Nunez is the colorist. Will Conrad is the artist. Sal Cipriano is the letters.
Hey, thanks, Sal.
Yeah, I mean, this book is like kind of your typical like Thrasher style horror movie.
It's got a Texas Chainsaw feel to it.
Yeah, it deals with like crossing the border from Mexico into the U.S. It definitely has some crime elements in it. This is, I guess, actually.
Do you think they still have the back issues at this store?
Maybe.
They don't have issue 2 because I've tried to order it, and apparently this is a weird flaw. The issue 2 has came in from Diamond to our shop twice, and both of them have been completely destroyed.
I've heard of that from other shops.
Because I had to buy the digital of number 2 for this, just because I read that first one, and then the third one came out, and I was like, I gotta read it before.
So number two is gonna be inadvertently rare.
Yeah, or something weird like that. I mean,
that's fine. I mean, I know they said they're going to do all of them in trades, right?
I think the first 8, I think they said.
Yeah, this first wave
for October.
Yeah. So I'll grab the trade then. But yeah, that's right up my alley for that.
It's great, and it does blend crime and horror very well. goes in between, and so much suspense, thriller. It's good. It was lightly predictable to me in a certain pieces, but it's done so well that I really like am grabbed by it.
Okay.
I think I heard Todd say that, and that's the only reason why it was predictable for me. I mean, it's kind of
really?
like another book we talked about where not necessarily like, I mean, it is. It's right there. It's in front of you the whole time.
Right
but I
there.
guess I thought maybe this might be a book where they don't do that.
Oh, I suppose, but it was, yeah.
But it was there.
But it was different. Never mind. Yes. So yeah, I'm just gonna put a blanket. I recommend everything we're about to talk about.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because this whole list is fantastic.
Yeah, the first one that I decided to trade weight when I heard that they were doing trades was the Old Haunts.
Oh my goodness.
And that was the one that, and you got it, and I think, I should have picked that one.
That is Ollie.
A bad week.
It has two writers on it. It's Ollie Masters and Rob Williams write it. Lawrence Campbell is the artist. Can you guess the colorist? It's Lee Luffridge. Whoa! And can you guess the letterer? It's
Sal Cipriano.
Sal Cipriano.
Wow.
Those guys killing it. So yeah. Oh man, you would love it.
Yeah, it's like it's definitely a crime book, I think, at heart, and it has some like thriller horror like things with it. I would say I like this book. If there is one of the books I have a slight gripe with, it might be this one.
Oh.
I think
I disagree with him on
this.
this.
We completely disagree, and maybe I just need to reread it, and I'll probably reread it next week. I think issue 3 comes out next week, so I'll probably just read all 3 of them over again. But for some reason with me, it seems like this book, and this is just of a gripe, it's a very minor gripe. It seems like where it should end, there's like 2 extra pages for me.
I think it ends great.
Yeah, like something happens where you're like, oh, this is the cliffhanger, and then there's like 2 extra pages, and I'm like, okay.
Is it
not necessarily that's a bad thing? No, I've enjoyed it. Like
I like how it's laid out. I think it reminds me so much of a movie. Oh, there's no exposition in the whole book. They don't do like this is what the character is thinking, or like there's no square. It's all dialogue. There's no squares to tell you.
Like that.
It's great.
And it kind of deals with some of the stuff
like
where
a
you're
movie.
not sure if everything is like actually happening that's happening to. Like,
yeah, we don't have an omnipotent narrator or anything like that. Like,
and that's I think why it kind of is like that.
Yeah, it feels like a movie. I like it a lot.
It's like it's a crime family, and there's one guy that kind of was in it, but then got out of it, and now they're dealing with the repercussions of what happens with.
And then another guy wants to get out of it now, and then there's this other guy that just wants to stay in it. But it's dealing with the history and then the present, and it's great. Oh my goodness, I love what they're weaving. How much they weave the past into the present and what they have to deal with. It's very well done.
All right. Well, like I said, I'll check that out. I have that on my list to check out. Red Border on the list to check out. I have The Resistance to check out, and I think that's further on in its line. I think that's why, right? There's a few issues of that out now, correct?
There is.
Yeah. So this is 3 issues. The first issue actually came out on March 18th.
Yeah, that was one of the
reason I
ones.
know this is because this book is about a pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
That makes superheroes,
and
I was gonna.
That's better than the one we.
Yeah.
It is interestingly timed with everything that happened. It's written by J. Michael Straczynski.
Saying it's a little suspicious.
Mike Deodato Jr. is the artist. Frank Martin is the colorist, and the letterer is
Sal Cipriano. Yeah. The only reason is like I have a coworker that's like he's read a decent amount of comic books, and I like was telling him like, isn't it crazy that the first issue of this came out March 18th, and it's about a quarantine pandemic situation, and like, because I think this was the first one. I mean, besides Archangel, I'm not sure if that one came out first or if this one did.
So 8.
Yeah,
Which is the only one I need to read still.
and also same with me.
Oh, so that's
it's-
one that none of us have read.
Yeah,
I'm sure it's great.
I've heard things about it. It says, in a world beyond the sight of mortals, heaven and hell wage an eternal war for the soul of mankind.
It sounds
and
dope.
I know
I'm very excited
Oscar
to get into
from Lost in Comics, that's usually his pick of the week when it comes out.
Yep.
Wow.
I usually mute it so that I don't get the spoilers during the talk, but I see that and it's like
Very up my aisle.
But this is a book that I think for me personally, like I'm really into. It's a lot of world building on superheroes. And I'm excited to see what happens because I'm guessing they're trying to build something bigger with this book.
I really hope they are.
And I know because I read the first issue and then I started reading the author's note, and he was talking about how Axel came to him, which Axel is like, I think he's like the CEO of AWA or Upshot. And he came to him specifically to ask him to write a book like this. So I think that he's kind of letting this like go into this world of like creating your own universe. And the way that this has come, I think it's very world building.
Oh yeah. No, I really hope more comes of it.
Yeah. I guess like a mild Valiant thing.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Especially that it's starting now. Like Valiant to me is something that I haven't gotten into because it's so massive.
It's intimidating.
It's very intimidating. So, but if somebody, if early word is that this could be the next that, then it's like I kind of want to jump in now because it's the time to jump in. Right?
And the way that I think they're doing it, at least from how this goes, is they'll probably make a trade of one, and then the next trade will come out, and like so it won't just be like here's like 7 trades right now that you have to like sub all these books.
Right.
Which would be really nice.
Yeah. That's very appreciated.
Yes.
Their most recent book, I think it only has the number 1 would be Devil's Highway.
Well,
Bad Mother is the most recent.
Well, I was gonna say that one for last.
No, but that is technically the most recent.
But yes, technically
that came out today, according to this recording.
But Devil's Highway, is that not on issue 2?
I don't think so.
I have just one so far. Devil's Highway, once again, another Ben Percy joint. Ben Schooner is the artist. Nick Filardi is the colorist, who I don't see as much on AWA, but I see him coloring a lot recently. I feel like I've seen that name. And then Sal Cipriano for letters.
Between the 2 Ben Percy books, I think I like this one more than Year Zero, which is interesting because I think I heard more hype around Year Zero, which again,
I agree.
Great book, but Year Zero was my first Percy book, and then so Devil's Highway was my second, and I tried to not get into number 1 because that was, like I said, it's the most recent besides Bad Mother. Where it was just one of those where it was like AWA keeps releasing these books and I keep jumping on them, and Devil's Highway came out and I was like, I kind of have to just pump my brakes here a minute, and I think I let it set for like a week or 2, and then I think
you got it the next week. I think we freaked out over it.
Yeah, I got it the next week. It was like, all right, and I finally got it and I read it and I was like, yeah, this might be, up there on the top for all of these. It was a really cool horror trucker. Just it was a great horror book. Just that one.
Cole and I were gushing about it, and then so were like 6 people on the stream that we did. And I would say this is right below Hotel. This would be my second favorite of the batch.
Yeah, I mean it's 1 issue, so
that's the tough part. So far, it is.
I mean,
but
it's
if it
also
stays up like
badass female. That's the lead. I mean, the thing that I love about this book the most, if we're being honest, is the very end. Like artist and author both tell these weird stories that help them. Like And it sounds like, from how they explained it, like they both told each other these stories, and then they decided to create this. Also, show me your boobs.
Right now.
Right now.
If you read the backstories, it literally
that will
says
make more
that. I'm
sense.
not being creepy, but maybe I am.
Also, the end panels are awesome.
Yeah.
In it as well. It's very striking.
I know I need to get it.
Poser will tell you digital is like, it's one of the best uses of digital because something happens in succession that really is just awesome when you read it that way.
The hard thing is, though, he read it on his phone, which if I'm going to read it digitally, I'm probably going to read it on a tablet. And I really don't like do that, and I won't, but like, it definitely, I feel like if now knowing that I would, but I think if I read it digitally, that would have never been. He went panel by panel.
Or page by page.
Panel by panel.
I would go page by page.
I would
too. But on this, on the last
tablet.
page, you want to go panel by panel.
Yes.
Because I'll reread it. I read it digitally, but I went page by page, and I don't recall exactly what you mean. But the last one,
very cool,
would be Bad Mother. And the reason I left it for last is because depending on how we release this video, you have either just seen a video about that, or we would just be planning one, right?
Yes, or we're talking about it on a stream, one of the two.
Yeah.
It's Krista Faust is the writer. Mike Deodato Jr. is the artist. Lee Luffridge is the colorist.
My buddy.
And Desi Cienti is the letterer.
Sorry, Sal.
Sal.
Can't get them all.
Nope.
Yeah.
Can't get them all.
I think we too kind of said the general idea of this is
6 for
Taken-ish, but with a mom. And she's also not physically trained to be doing these things.
As far as we know.
Yeah. It's only and from this book, this is easily the one that I have not seen any. I mean, granted, it's terrible to have your family taken from you, but this is not an actual horror book in any way.
No, it's definitely more suspense, thriller, action.
It's not like a slasher.
No.
Well, I mean, there's
some things about it.
There's definitely some.
We're not saying nobody gets murdered.
Oh
yeah,
no.
There's some gore and there's some murder.
Definitely some murder and some shock value. Mm-hmm. I think Bad Mother plays out as a film, like a suspense drama film type thing, like Taken and those type of movies really, really well. I think Devil's Highway would be the suspenseful jump scare, classic horror movie, and I think Hotel would be the weird art house movie that you make your friends watch, and they're like, I don't like this.
It's a visual scare.
Yeah, it's old Haunts and Bad Mother is on this end of the spectrum, and then Hotel's here, and then they run the whole gamut between the two.
Yeah,
I guess Resistance would be over here too.
Yeah.
And you got your.
And I don't know. I would say that it's Resistance, Bad Mother, and Old Haunts is here.
Yeah, it's edging a little bit closer.
All I know is Hotel is way over here.
Yes.
And the one thing for me with a lot of horror comics is there's not many that make me personally feel scared or creeped out as much, and Hotel definitely nails that.
It's heebie-jeebies day. Yeah.
I think Devil's Highway, I got a little bit of geez, here and there.
Yeah.
And Bad Mother's just a sitting on the edge of your seat, oh man, kind of a thing.
Shit's gonna go down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. They have a few on here that I haven't heard of that might be upcoming. They have an Eater, American Ronin, Erratic, and Grendel, Kentucky.
Yeah, that one's not out yet.
Grendel. Yeah, that one's a future one.
I haven't heard of the other three.
I haven't heard the other three either. It's been a lot of consumption of AWA.
Yeah, they got tons of great stuff.
Yeah, they are killing it, which is why it's this is right up there if I had to choose a publisher to just stay with right now, and that's all I could read, they would be very much on the very short list.
And at this point, I've pretty much just told my shop to put everything on my pull list.
Yeah. It's AWA. Yeah. Just do it.
If it's not on my pull list and it's has more than one issue, which is essentially just Archangel, which I'll probably end up buying the next time I go into the shop if they have them all. But yeah, I mean,
no, it's a Fry the meme, the shut up and take my money type situation.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, huge recommend to everything we just talked about. If any of those genres and places, start with what sounds the best to you, but honestly, you could pick up anything you find from AWA right now, and I think that you'll be more than happy.
Yeah, I haven't been like disappointed with any of them.
Nope. That's rare for that many books.
Yeah,
that's impressive.
And it's interesting when a place like this that's so new to the game and everything, where I always kind of stack my comics in order of like my anticipation, like how I think I'm going to want to read them and stuff. And to have some of these books jump up and be some of the first books that I'm reading on Wednesdays is kind of a big deal. To be beating out, DC and Image books and stuff on occasion, that I would rather check out this little indie stuff.
Right. Especially the current comics that are coming. It's not like we're in a week slow time of comics. There is
not at all
amazing stuff going out.
Yeah, and I mean, and that's the thing too. Even with us, we try and do our live streams on Wednesday. There are times where I've read certain AWA books twice before we do that. And that's like me trying to read as many books as I can. Like with Devil's Highway, I read that book twice before we went on a live stream. And that was like, I pick up my comics at 11 and we go live at 9. So I have 10 hours to read stuff, and I spent an extra 50. I mean, granted, the second read is going to be a lot quicker, but
sure.
I wanted to double dip to see if I missed it.
Awesome. Well, so check those out, get on it, and thanks for getting wrapped up with us and letting us chew your ear off talking about AWA. Go out and get them.
And Upshot.
Just get them. And Upshot. Thank you. I'm Todd.
I'm Cole.
I'm Nick.
And this is Comic Burrito Podcast. Thanks for joining. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Yeah, I'm very into 5 of 5 Year Zero cover.
Yeah. Kill it.
That might be better than the Picnic.